Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Modern leaders. It's not just their ability to reason that we value, or their eloquence. It's more than their intelligence that we admire. What truly matters is their humanity. Just like modern leaders, the LS is human at heart. Every aspect of the Lexus LS is crafted around you, engineered to a higher standard, the human standard. The new 2021 Lexus LS. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
The information contained within this podcast does not consider your personal circumstances and is of a general nature only. You should not act on it without first obtaining professional financial advice specific to your circumstances.
Paul Atherton is an ex-Wall Street advisor on a mission to help young people win back their financial power, wealth, and security. He does this by helping them understand the hidden world of finance, risk, and investments, helps them figure out how it impacts them, and to seize the opportunities to make it work to their advantage. This is Paul Street Journal. I'm here with Paul Atherton this morning. How are you, Paul?
Yeah, I'm really well, Tim.
That's good to hear. I'm looking into my investments and I'm just wondering what a drip is and do I need one? Do I need to fix it? If it was a leaking tap,
Yeah. Yeah, what is a drip apart from a very boring person, as they say? So, it's a great question. And drips I think they're great. But let's just step back a little bit. Let's talk about what the acronym means. And there's various angles to approach a drip. Okay, so DRIP is Dividend Reinvestment Plan or Program is the P, Dividend Reinvestment. So you have a stock. Companies have shares and stocks that they trade on the market. Some stocks, not all, tech stocks don't do this mostly, but old school companies, BHPs and so on, have a dividend. They provide a dividend to their shareholders. And what this means is they get a little bit of cash. They call this the dividend yield. And each year it provides a little bit of cash to the shareholders. Now, the new tech companies often don't do this because they say they need the cash, quite often true, to grow their company. So they don't provide a dividend. So to be part of a DRIP, dividend reinvestment program, you need to find a company that actually provides dividends. But once you've found said company, there are two ways really to approach this. And the benefit for doing it, by the way, for your listeners is if you like the company, why would you just take the cash and why wouldn't you put it back in the company? I mean, it makes sense. And particularly if you're really confident in it and it's done very well for you, over time, you can just keep refeeding that as cash dividends, those cash payments, back into buying more stock. And it's like the power of compounding, but with a stock. And that over time is tremendously beneficial. I've seen people gain massive money on just this using drips. So that's why you would want to use it. Now, the two approaches to a drip is via the company directly. So you can call up, you can Google. First of all, find out the company does, in fact, have dividend yields. Then look for their investor relation department, call them up, and they will usually they hold stock in some escrowed account or put away, and you can talk to them and they will provide their dividend reinvestment program. So you invest directly with the company, not on what they call the secondary market. So in general, when people talk about trading, they go through a broker, they go through an online broker, and they trade on the market, on the open market. I mean, if you've seen that on the 6 o'clock news where the people are shouting at each other, or that's the open market. You are buying and selling stock with another counterparty. But when you talk to a company, you're just trading directly with them. So there's no secondary market, it's directly. And the great thing about that is, let's say you have a small dividend yield that comes, well, let's say it's $1,000 to make the math easier, in this company, but they give a dividend yield of $10 a year. Now, that's fantastic. That's okay, I'll take that $10. But the price of one stock might be $100. Well, now what do? What do you wait 10 years? But when you're directly investing with the company, you can, they'll take partial shares. and they'll accumulate that for you. So call up or find out the investor relations department. You can buy those stocks directly from them and work through a dividend reinvestment program. So that's directly through the company. The second process is to go right through a broker. Now, also, you could thirdly do it yourself, but let's assume you're working through a broker, and you just tell the broker, every time I get a dividend, I want you to buy more stock. Now that, as I mentioned earlier, has the problem if you've got partial cash. So you'll have to wait till the cash accumulates to at least one stock. So if the stock is worth $100 per share, you'll have to wait till the cash has accumulated to $100. And then you'll probably have a cash account for any remainder of small amounts of cash. And the broker will then, on an ongoing basis, reinvest those dividends, dripping it back into your investment account. And again, as I kind of hinted to, the third way would be for you just to do it yourself. You've got an online account, you notice, oh my gosh, I got a nice little bit of cash. Let me put it straight back and buy more stock. So they're the three methods. Via the company is quite attractive, I think. The only issue with doing it through the company is if you, and I think about this in terms of complexity, you might have a brokerage account, you might have a super account, and all of a sudden now you've got a direct investment with another company. So it might get a little unruly to handle, but certainly available, certainly a very good investment, and a good approach.
Is there any dividends gained on indexes? It sounds like a silly question because it's obviously with individual companies, but just for those out there that are just purely invested in indexes.
Yeah, so no is the answer. No, indexes don't. So if you look at, I'll use the S&P 500. Of course, there's loads of companies that are providing dividends, but that's not the way it's calculated. It's calculated on market capitalization, which is again on the stock price. So you wouldn't receive that if you're an investor in an index. You wouldn't receive a regular cash flow, and I mean this is a way that if you said, look, I want to invest, I like indexes, I like passive funds, but I'd like to receive dividends. A great way of doing that is to look at the big companies that are investing. You can do it, the 80-20 rule. 80% of the companies, 80% of the S&P or 80% of the Australian All Ordinaries are represented by these 20 companies, and you can invest in them directly. And those dividends, and then you'll be able to collect them, but you have to manage it. And that's the problem with these type of self-managed ways, and that's why I guess I like indexes.
Awesome. Well, I feel very confident that I won't have to fix a drip. It sounds like it's something I want in my life.
Yes. Don't be afraid of a drip.
That's it. Thanks for coming in today, Paul.
Cheers, Tim. Thank you.
Paul Street Journal.
Modern leaders. It's not just their ability to reason that we value, or their eloquence. It's more than their intelligence that we admire. What truly matters is their humanity. Just like modern leaders, the LS is human at heart. Every aspect of the Lexus LS is crafted around you, engineered to a higher standard, the human standard. The new 2021 Lexus LS. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.